Hey, how come you get two and I get one? There you go. Son,
There,
Sonny, is that you?
there we are.
How am I coming across? How am I coming across? Okay.
You're looking good. You're looking strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. I have to push a button here. There we go. Well, welcome to the third call between my buddy Jim Sundberg and Greg Pryor here. I'm in Overland Park. You in Texas somewhere?
In Arlington, Texas.
Had a baby. We're going to start off the call, as I told you, about what happened to get you to Arlington, because even though we've talked about it already, I love this story, Jim, because you were in college up there in Iowa, got signed by the Rangers, and they brought you to instructional league before the '74 season. Is that correct? You went to Pittsfield,
Correct.
then,
Yeah,
then you came to spring training in '74. But
that's right.
but the first time Billy Martin saw you was in instructional league in '73.
That's right. In October of '73, down at the Royals Academy.
And that's where I saw you for the first time.
Yeah, that was it was amazing because it was a collection of the better players in the organization for each team, and so it was those that were deemed uh, good enough that they would send them to instructional league and get some additional tips and play against some big leaguers. In fact, I think we played against Blass. Was it Bill
Yeah,
Blass, a pitcher?
exactly. That's right.
He was with the Pirates, and I remember hitting against him
Yeah.
there. I thought that was cool.
But you know what's so funny about this is when you signed with the Rangers and they sent you right to Double A, you passed rookie league, you passed A ball, you went right to Double A. You played in Pittsfield in '73. Well, I was in Pittsfield in '72, and I did so horse crap. They sent me back to A ball, so I spent '72 in Burlington in the Carolina League, and then '73 I got orphaned out to Rocky Mount in the Carolina League. I played for a Phillies minor league team. I was still a Ranger, and then you and I hooked up again you for good in '74 in spring training there in Pompano Beach when you got down there, and you told me I think one of the calls that Billy Martin, when he saw you in instructional league, he knew that you were gonna be his starting catcher starting the '74 season. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I remember seeing Billy in the instructional league in '73 and sitting in the stands and kind of he never really came up and said anything to anybody. I wish he would have told me that I was going to be a starting catcher the next year, because I went home after instructional league and worked in a factory putting compressors in the back of refrigerators for 2 months. And so that was, I was squatting on a line that was moving pretty fast and trying to keep up with putting compressors in the back of Admiral refrigerators.
Well, hey, in a little bit, we're going to get into off-season conditioning, and we're going to get into jobs that. Hold on a second. I'm getting a call from somebody. That's okay. Ben was calling me. I don't know why. Maybe we're not on Facebook. Maybe it's just you and me here. I don't know. I don't know.
We can humor ourselves.
No, we'll practice for the next time.
Yes.
We'll make it quicker.
Yes.
Now, listen, I was going to talk to you a little bit later about off-season conditioning, jobs that you had in the minor leagues, if you had any, and then instructional or winter ball. You went to winter ball in Venezuela.
Yes.
See, I was there in '77.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I was there after my first year in the big leagues in '74. I went down and played for a couple of months. Actually made more money per month in Venezuela than I did per month in the United States. It was amazing. They actually paid more than what I had made on a monthly basis in the United States. And so It was a chance to make a little extra money, and you get a chance to, travel a little bit. Venezuela was interesting.
What
As
city?
you
What city were you in? What city?
I was in Maracaibo,
Yeah.
and we lived on the big lake, Maracaibo Lake.
Well, I was in Maracaibo with Louis Aparicio.
Okay. Yeah.
I just signed with the White Sox in November of '77, and I get a phone call from the general manager of Maracaibo, and they said, "Hey, we want to give you more money than you've ever made in your life every month down here." So I went down there and played for 3 months, and then got back and went on to play with the White Sox. But in
It was a great
70
experience.
in 74 you went down there, and last time on an earlier show you said that the reason you didn't talk to me very much in spring training was that because you were walking around scared, and or you were nervous all the time because you had to be around Billy Martin every day.
Yeah. Well, it's rather intimidating. I mean, when your manager has a shooting range underneath the bleachers right outside of his office, a little pistol range, it's a little intimidating. Uh, and for the kind of personality Billy had, which was kind of fiery and it was always getting into trouble with the umpires, is a little intimidating to hear him shooting his pistol outside of his office underneath the bleachers. In the afternoon, it was rather weird.
Now, hey, you remember a meeting that he had? He called all the team into the outfield stands and gave us a real tongue lashing speech about mouthing off to his coaches. Did you remember that? Were you there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That like was one of the most incredible experiences I ever had with early on with the manager, because I respected Billy because of playing with the Yankees and being a major league manager. But somebody had mouthed off to one of the coaches, and he called everybody up in the stands, and he was angry. He was walking around. He probably would have shot somebody in the stands if he had a gun. But he said that when we mouthed off to one of his coaches, it's like mouthing off to him. And he says, if you do it again, I'll get you out of here so fast your head will spin. And
Hmm.
that's about all he said.
Well, he's an angry guy, as you know. He's generally an angry guy, but I remember all the times where we would come in after a game, having lost a game, and the spread is in the middle of the clubhouse, getting ready to be eaten, and then he would come in and wipe it off clean onto the floor, and just say, how can you guys eat? The way you played tonight makes me want to puke.
No way.
And so, and of course, a few of us would kind of hover over the better morsels that were left on top of the carpet, so we would wait at the right time to dive in and,
Well,
and pull them out.
we well, Billy Tony La Russa did that one time when we were in Texas after a game there in Texas. La Russa, it might have been the first year he was managing '79 there. He came in and just flipped them. He just flipped all the food on the thing, and he told the clubhouse guy, he goes, "I'll pay for the food, but they're not eating. Nobody's eating here." He. I didn't really appreciate that too much in a way,
No,
because you know you were you ever a manager in the minor leagues, or could you ever have a chance to be a manager?
no, I never did. I think that's something I probably would have liked to have tried, but no, I never had I never did try that.
Yeah, but I don't think I would have done that. But it just shows you that I don't know if he ever did that, if Tony La Russa ever did that with the Oakland or St. Louis, but he was the only manager that ever threw up the spread like he did then. But that was unique that you saw Billy Martin do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, these guys were very competitive. I mean, Tony and Billy, and obviously managed against each other. And I don't know if Tony took the idea from Billy, but Billy was notorious for wiping food out on the off the table onto the floor. So you'd have to try to figure out how you're going to eat then after the game.
Well, I I told you that
Oh, there
during
we
the
go.
show, during the show here, I'm not going to do this now, but I was sent these cards from 10th inning cards in Hampton, Virginia. I want to give them a plug. They sent me these. It's an '87 pack here. You could be in here.
Oh,
Yeah,
7, yeah.
maybe. But I'm going to open that in a little bit here toward the end of the show.
I want the gum.
Well, the
Get
gum
the
is
gum for me.
probably as
No
hard as your cork-filled bat you used to use. But I ask you to now listen. I just happened to be going through some of my books, and I saw that one,
Hey.
and I'm thinking that was doctored up some. There's no way you touched the rim, and this catcher, that's you right there.
So you see how high I got now. Here's how I got high. If you look at the ground, you see that they're on the back side of the rubber, the back side of the mound. I hit the top of the mound and catapulted up on top of Brett Saberhagen and George Brett. And I think Balboni got there too. But yes, you can see how high I got.
Yeah, I saw that. I said, I got to show people that you can jump.
I hit that back side of hit the side of the mound and was able to get up that high.
Well, there's the back of there's the back of it. There's our manager.
There it is.
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to show that. I thought it was so funny. But it's funny that they commissioned an artist to do a painting of our World Series team in '85, and you're in the same picture 2 times. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Have you seen that picture?
No.
You never bought one? Well, they offered them.
No, they had it.
It was a limited edition. I'll send you a copy of it. Maybe we'll show
Okay.
it the next time we do a show. But
Okay.
but you're the artist had 2 pictures that he did the painting by, and you were in both pictures. But he put you in the picture 2 times. It's like one of those very rare things. But
that is.
Yeah, I ask you to bring your book. I want you to tell the people where Jim has written 2 books. This is your second book, correct?
Yeah.
Now, did you learn anything from your first book?
Well, I learned that it's an act of love. I mean, it's a lot of work for a few cells, and so I mean, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And so the Legacy Playbook that I just have here is
explain that. Hold it up again and explain that, Jim.
Yes, Legacy Playbook, and it's 50 days of encouragement to pass on what matters most. It's a little devotional, and so it's something I've always wanted to do, and was able to get it done. It's a ton of work, as you know, to write a book, and but it turned out really good. I've had good reviews on it, and I've had some really good interest in it. So
well, you got to walk the walk, and then you write a book like that too.
You have to stay the course. Look at that.
No, this is just stories. This is entertainment. This is 27 stories about the days I played in the big leagues, and I failed sophomore English, and here I end up writing 27 stories, and your name's in here. I obviously put the World Series thing in here, but what I do is I sign the front of it, and then I send out a rookie card. That's me there in Yankee Stadium with a mustache, because the reason I call this the day the Yankees made me shave is because when I go to spring training with the Yankees in '77, I had a mustache like Reggie and Catfish and Thurman, and I got sent down to AAA, and the farm director, he told me that I needed to shave my mustache or I couldn't play on the AAA team.
So who's the manager?
Billy Martin was managing the Yankees.
Oh, the Yankees. Okay.
Yeah, my AAA manager was Pete Ward, but not my manager, but the farm director, Jack Butterfield.
Oh, okay.
Butterfield. He said, so I go to Syracuse, and I had a mustache revolt. I got all the guys on the team to vote to grow mustaches, and ended up I was the only guy growing one after 3 weeks. And I got Steinbrenner and the Yankees to change the rule. So they changed the rule for all the minor leagues. So no matter what anybody's heard about the Yankees facial hair rule, I'm the one that got the rule overturned in 1977. And there's only one reason why you can do something like that, Sonny. And you know what it is? You
You
got
hit
to
home runs?
you got to be a decent ball player. And then they traded Sandy Alomar Sr. for me. You played with Sandy Alomar Sr.
Yeah.
Well, he and Brian Doyle and myself were traded for Sandy. So the Yankees couldn't very well say, yeah, we had to release Pryor. Even though we traded Sandy Alomar for him, he wouldn't shave his mustache, so we released him. They couldn't have released me. I had him, but I still was in AAA. But I got out of AAA, and I started, writing these stories out. So 27 of them. And the website where they can get your book is where, Jim?
At JimSundberg.com.
Okay, good. And then mine is GregoryPryor.com. And I send out, I also have some baseballs available on mine if they want to order baseballs.
Cool.
So I give them baseball in the book. But let's get into off-season conditioning real quick.
Yeah.
Go back in 1976, 77, 78, 79. What did you have a set program on how you worked out? Did you work out in the same place? Did you just do the same workouts? How many days a week did you work out? Just tell us about training.
Well, Greg, I mean, back in those early years, I actually worked a job. My first 3 years in the big leagues, I actually worked in the off season. I worked for Dr. Pepper, and I would put on programs in elementary schools. And so I would go into elementary schools and show a film on baseball, and we served Dr. Pepper. Believe it or not, you could actually serve soft drinks back then at that time. And so I worked, and then in about January, I would start running, and I would start doing a little bit of throwing, and I wanted to basically have my legs and arm ready by the time I got to spring training in mid-February. Catchers usually get to spring training, as you know, earlier than the rest of the team. And so that was generally around the 10th to the 15th of February. But I would start throwing in January, and I didn't really do a whole lot. Now, as I got older, I stayed in condition all year long. I worked out all off season long, and stayed in shape. There was one year I actually just swam laps in a pool to stay in shape. I thought I'd do something different, a little different, and but the general running and a little lifting of weights, and then when January would roll around, you start getting your arm in shape and start throwing again. But you kind of give it some rest through those October, November, December months. Let your arm recoup.
Yeah, it's something that each player has to do on his own. I know that in my workouts, sometimes I think I would overtrain and I wouldn't allow my body to recover between workouts. But the only way that I made it was to really, you're only born with so many muscle fibers, and you can't invent more because they with
That's
you.
Right.
And I really had to work on my legs because as you know, the legs are such a big part of the game that you really
Right.
you had to pace yourself in case you didn't want to burn out. But now let's talk about some umpires. I'm going to throw some names at you on umpires.
Okay.
And you just give me like a little quick description of a few umpires that the old time umpires, where you came in, and I'm trying to pick one that was probably maybe behind the plate when you were a rookie. And let's go with Jerry Newdecker first. Jerry Newdecker.
Jerry Newdecker, yes. Jerry was an interesting guy, and I ended up actually working well with him. But Greg, I had trouble. In my first year and a half with Billy Martin, I was kicked out of 6 games. I was kicked out of 6 games in a year and a half because Billy wanted me to argue with the umpires all the time. So the umpires didn't necessarily particularly care for me, and it took a few years to kind of get through that. Once Billy was fired, it took another year and a half before I could iron things out with the umpire crew. And Newdecker was one of those. And
let me ask you about another one.
Yeah,
Larry Barnett.
Larry Barnett. You know, Larry. I didn't think Larry was great.
But how about his strike call though? I think he worked more in his strike call than he did his eyeballs. You know.
Yeah, the guy that was a real card and got mad at me was Nestor Shylock.
Oh, Shylock.
You're Shylock. He was the umpire. Actually,
Hall of Famer. He went into the Hall of Fame with George Brett.
did he really?
Yeah, same year.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a pretty good umpire, and he didn't like the way I would ask about the balls and strikes with him. And one time I was catching a game, and I had gone through this sequence of going, well, was that one a little bit outside? And he would sarcastically say, no, it was inside. And then there was a pitch that was a little bit inside, and I said, well, was that a little bit in? He goes, no, it was about outside. And finally he stopped, he called timeout, he came out in front of home plate, brushed the plate off, and then looked down at me and goes, kid, how old are you? How old are you? And I said, I'm 21. He goes, I've been umpiring for 22 years, so I think you just better shut up. And that was kind of that was kind of it. I mean, he just did not like the way I was interacting with the balls and strikes. It bothered him.
It reminds me of the time I was rookie in Chicago, and Haller, Bill Haller was behind the plate. This is back when they had the inner tubes, when they had those big old inner tubes.
Right.
And then they stood 6 feet behind the catcher with those inner tubes, hoping they don't get hit, you know. And it was late in the game. We're playing the Orioles in Comiskey Park, and it was a 3-2 count, and then the pitcher threw a ball that was like, I don't know, 6 inches out and maybe 4 inches off the ground, and he called it a strike. And you know, I knew it wasn't a strike. And as soon as he called it a strike, he was walking backwards, took his tube off because he was interested in probably going out and having a good time after the game. And I said, well, Pryor, it's time that you meet an umpire. So I turned around, I walked back, and I said, excuse me. I said, I'm a rookie. I'm trying to earn a living in this game. And I said, if you call me out on a pitch like that, I said, I have no chance. He goes, well, I've been here 15 years, and let me give you some advice, rookie. He goes, the next time I'm umpiring behind the plate, just don't get 2 strikes on you. Now get the hell away from me. So,
oh yeah, umpires would hold grudges. They really did. I mean, there were several that you know, that would get a little too fed up with things, and then basically, if you had 2 strikes, you didn't dare let anything close.
No,
you were swinging.
You know, and that's something that I learned. I don't know whether it was good or bad, but I learned that you really are probably better off in the big picture not questioning umpires' calls, because people are questioning their calls every time they go out on the field. Guys behind the plate, they I don't even know if they even knew what uniform we were wearing. They were just calling balls and strikes. That's all they did.
Right.
So what I didn't want to do was is to have an argument with an umpire, and then the next night he's umpiring at third base, and I got to go talk to him. You know, I actually thought that. I said, if I really get into his face, he's going to be right behind me. And I didn't talk to umpires that much, but when I did, I always wanted to have a clean slate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I was, you know, I mentioned, you know, getting kicked out of 6 games the first year and a half. I was only kicked out of 2 games my last 14 and a half years. So I kind of cleaned it up. Obviously, though, Billy was the culprit behind that.
Yeah. You got away from the Billy Martin effect, I think.
Got away from that, and so didn't have too many more arguments with him.
Okay, we got like 10 or 15 more minutes, and I promised these viewers that we would open up these cards on here, so they can see it sealed. And I'm going to open this up. And
here we go.
What's 2020 from 1987? How old is this pack of cards, Sonny?
From 87 in that 23 years. 33 years?
33 years. It's like better than a bottle of Cabernet, you know? You could be in here.
I could be.
Yeah. What if you're in here?
I can't wait to see who's in there. We can talk about how to pitch some of these guys. if we
Well,
got him in here.
the chewing gum came loose. It's all falling out in pieces on my lap.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, look at this.
There
Anyway,
it is.
here's a stack of cards here,
Okay.
and we're gonna open. There's no special order here. Let me get them so that we can look at them here. We'll get an American leaguer here. There's Tom Foley. That's
Foley.
National League guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here's a guy. Here's a guy you know. Rafael Palmeiro.
Yeah.
Any stories about him?
The greatest swing. I was just traded from Kansas City at the end of the 87 spring training. At the end of 87 spring training, and I was traded to the Cubs, and Rick Sutcliffe picked me up at the airport in Phoenix because there was 2 days left of spring training, and so I went ahead and went to the Cubs facility there in Arizona, and Rick Sutcliffe said, "Hey, look, I've got to go by the team hotel. I've got to say, I got to try to encourage a guy. He got sent down today, and he's got the greatest swing. He's going to be a great major league hitter someday." And it was Rafael Palmeiro.
Wow.
And
Nice.
and he was an outfielder when he came up with the Cubs, and eventually made it to first base and added about 20 or 30 pounds.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try to pick guys here that you were teammates with. I can't find any teammates here, but this is a guy that I think that you were teammates with. Let me find him here. I know you played with his brother, but there's Joe Niekro. You probably got some. You probably know about Joe Niekro.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
He was with Houston.
I probably know more about Phil. Joe spent a lot of time, I think, in the National League, and then he went over to the American League for a little bit. But Phil Niekro, I mean, Niekro brothers and the knuckleball, and fortunately I had caught Gaylord Perry, so I knew a little bit of how to I think hit against a knuckleballer.
Well, you had a good one there on the Texas team and Charlie Huff. I know that.
Yeah.
Now there's Darrell Evans. Now, how did you pitch to Darrell Evans when he was with the Tigers?
Very carefully.
Yeah.
You try to keep the ball up and in, or try to throw it away from him. He liked the ball down and in. He was.
Yeah, you know what? He probably had over 400 home runs, or maybe
he had a bunch of home runs. He was one of the best. He's one of the best hitters in the big leagues there. Yeah. In the we'll say the 70s and 80s.
It's kind of logical to have a jacket on there in Detroit. I think that's right. This picture was taken. But the funny thing is about him is whenever he hit a home run, he would lower his head and not watch the ball. He had a habit of not watching the ball when he hit a home run. He knew it was gone, and he acted like he had done it before. And that's what I kind of appreciated about Darrell. He always
he was respectful. I mean, you could gloat. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff that a pitcher would dislike, but he wasn't that. He was respectful to the opposing team and the pitcher when he hit a home run.
Yeah. Here's a guy that played in Texas, but and I think he played in. I think he also played up in Seattle. Craig Reynolds, left-hand hitting shortstop. But
he played a little bit with us. Just.
Oh yeah.
Just a little, like a cup of coffee, I believe. I'm trying to remember what year it was, but a good defensive player, not much of an offensive player, and but really could handle his glove. And his hands were good.
Yeah, he was with the Pirates when he signed, I think, and I played against him in the minor league some.
Yeah,
but I think we played against each other in the Carolina League. But here's a catcher, and it's on the same team that you played for. Both you guys caught B.J. Surhoff.
B.J. Surhoff, yes, he came up later on. He was toward on the latter part, I think somewhere in the mid '80s, wasn't he?
Yeah. The BJ. He played well. These are '87 cards, so most of these guys, They played after I did, obviously, because 87 was my 87 card was my last one.
Yeah, he came in after I was with the Brewers. I was with the Milwaukee in '84, and he came in. He came in after that and stayed with the Brewers for quite a while. He was a pretty good major league catcher.
Okay, 84.
Good hit.
I need to ask you a question about Mike Caldwell because I played against Caldwell in the college summer league, and I know he loaded him up. I don't know where he got it from. He was loading them up in college too. So, how did he tell you he was throwing a loaded up ball? What was his signal to you?
He never did tell me. He never did tell me what it was.
No way.
No, Gaylord never admitted to throwing a spitter, and yet my glove had all the markings on it whenever he would throw one. So, but Caldwell was more secretive about it. He never did admit to me. It's probably the screwball when he said he turned it over.
Yeah, I know. Naturally sink. The ball naturally sinks.
Yeah.
Here's Jim Leland.
Jim Leland, the skipper.
Did you ever have a run in with him? You ever have a
No,
run?
I never did.
He never threw at you?
No, never. There was just a year and a half there where I was with the Cubs that played against Jim and his teams.
Okay, listen, we didn't find your card or my card, and I'm gonna open up another one of these because the other guys are boring in that stack I got 17 cards and I didn't make any money yet. Okay, but here's another packet here. We're gonna open up this, and this is gonna have to be quicker because we're running out of time. I'm just gonna start reading the names of these cards to you. Okay.
Okay.
And you tell me to stop.
Okay.
Steve Ontiveros. I don't even know who this guy is. Darryl Strawberry.
Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah, Darryl Strawberry.
Great hitter.
Yeah. That might be his rookie card. Anyway, Will Clark. Did you ever play with him?
No, I did not play. He played with the Rangers, but I was broadcasting during the time that he was with the Rangers. But
I bet you he would have been a fun guy to play with. I mean, he really. Todd Worrell. You ever faced Todd Worrell?
World Series.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what am I saying? Yeah, he.
Good pitcher.
Chili Davis.
Chili played against him when he was in Oakland.
He became a hitting instructor too, a big league hitting instructor.
Yeah, he did. He's a good outfielder, good hitter.
Rick Aguilera?
No, I don't know. Never really had much experience with him.
Vance Law.
Vance Law played with Vance. Yes.
Yeah.
A good guy. Also good.
There's a guy that
Dennis Leonard.
Yeah. I was kind of glad when I got traded to the Royals. I never had to face him anymore. He was one of those guys that never threw a ball straight in his life. He was always buzzing my hands or throwing it on the corner outside where I couldn't touch it.
Yeah, he's a good pitcher.
Jeffrey Leonard, one flap down, huh?
One flap. Hello.
Now, did you have any kind of a home run trot? You were showing a picture.
I think mine was fairly quick. People told me I should have slowed down, but I was motoring around the bases. I should have taken it a little bit easier.
You almost hit 60 home runs, didn't you?
You mean my career?
Yeah.
About 90.
90. Oh, how many?
I had 12. I had 12 with Kansas City one year.
How many walk-offs though?
Oh, I had a few.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us about one of them?
It's hard to remember.
No, stop.
Against Detroit.
Don't.
One was against Detroit. I had a big team in Arlington.
Oh.
12th inning, walk-off.
Great.
So I mean, it's what can I say? I mean, they're exciting.
Hey, some guys never get one.
What about you? Did you have one?
I had three.
Three?
Yeah. You know what I like about walk-offs? Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy.
No kidding.
Yeah. They want to go and have a shower and get something to eat. Okay, now.
Hit. Oh,
No.
we're having issues with the phone here.
No, it's okay. Now, listen, you get fan mail, or do they have?
Oh, yeah.
You want to give out your home address? No, just don't.
Yeah, I get enough of them here.
Hey, I found that
Our addresses are out there with all the collectors. We don't even have to worry about that. We get enough of them. You get a bunch at the house, right?
I got them at the house. I have a post office box too, and I want them to go to the post office box, but I can't change it now. They got my home address, and
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing about autographing these cards. So
Yeah.
thanks for doing the card. Now, listen, one of my Facebook people had this, and they sent this to me, and I'm gonna see that one right here.
Left-handed
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
This is in one of those. But look who's on the back of Barry Bonds.
I can't see. Upside down.
Greg Pryor.
Greg Pryor. You're on
Yeah.
the back side
Right
of
up.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah, look, that's as close as I ever came to Barry Bonds right there. You look at that. I've been asking people, should I open this or not? And they say, oh, don't open it. Save it forever. So
Yeah.
I had a really nice friend on Facebook send me that as a memento. So I'll give it to somebody. But let's talk about our books a little bit, and then we'll bid everybody good night, and Chiefs fans can go and watch the game. But I'll knock off. This show is being sponsored by our books. If you want a good baseball book for your friends and family for the holidays, my book is called The Day the Yankees Made Me Shave at GregoryPryor.com. And also, I also own a health and nutrition company called Life Priority. And if you want to lift your spirits during the holidays, this is called Lift. This is one of my products. Go to lifepriority.com, lifepriority.com. And I've been in the health and nutrition industry since 1991. And we have a wonderful, great products that people can use to help them live a healthier life. And I wish they would go visit. And now you're the last batter of the lineup tonight.
Well, Legacy Playbook, 50 days of encouragement to pass on what matters most. Basically 50 stories, and they're stories from childhood to the big leagues, to personal life, and it's used there to encourage people and lift people up. And you can get it at jimsundberg.com.
Yeah.
And for special for your viewers, if you go and put in the code word Jim, you can get a discount on this.
Great.
For Christmas.
Great. And I'll have you know that one of the people that has purchased my book and your book told me that my delivery was quicker than your delivery.
Okay? Yeah, I bet it is.
No, just kidding. JimSundberg.com, GregoryPryor.com, and Sonny, I'm hoping we can do this again before Christmas Day. Maybe we'll look at a date.
Great.
It's wonderful being with you again. I know you're enjoying your family, and it's wonderful to be here with you tonight. Thanks for giving us part of your night, and
Sure.
We'll talk to you again real soon. Okay.
Tell your wife hi.
All right. Same to you.
All right, see ya.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.